Hi, this is Majinoni, and Radical sent me this book, Damaged, and this book was awesome. I have to admit, this this Damage reminded me a lot of, I guess you could say, a Punisher, but in a modern day, like real world type setting. You have Damage is the story of two brothers. There's Frank and Henry. Now, Frank is the like the straight and narrow cop. Henry is the guy who snapped, I guess you can say. He was a cop, snapped, and then went on a bloody rampage of shooting and violence. And as you can see here, like the art style is, I mean, it's a little bit more realistic, painted, and while there's some parts of it I'm not really liking as much, I think as a whole they did a really good job. Like this panel right here, this almost reminds me of actually of Cable, and it's mostly because you have the hairstyle and then the build, and then if you look around the eyes, some of the Cables has those scars and stuff like that, so that's why it kind of reminded me of it. But Henry's a total badass type guy, and he basically goes on a tear. What's basically what the gist of what's going on is, you have Frank. He's like said, he was like a detective guy, and he was pretty high up in the police force. And he's been trying to take down this Russian mob, and he just can't do it. And it's like years have gone by, and eventually, the powers that be are going, well, you're not doing your job. We're going to replace you. You're old, so you should just retire. Well, while that's going on, his brother Henry comes back into town, and he targets the Russian mob, and he basically takes care of business. And it's there's some really violent scenes in here, lots of violent shooting. So if you're, like I said, if you're a Punisher fan, this is something that would probably be right up your alley. Um, but anyways, going back into the story, you have Frank's successor. Basically, he's the young, hotshot young guy, and he's basically, he has his own theories and idea of what's going on. So Frank just lets him, like, feeds him some false information, so this way he goes on his own way, while Frank goes to confront his fear that his brother's back in town, and his brother's behind this shooting rampage. And this actually, like I said, I really enjoyed it. Um, I really, really definitely enjoyed it. This is a 6-issue miniseries, and I mean, this is basically, just from this first issue, you can tell that they basically scripted this just to be a movie type thing. So far, you have all the right players in place. So you have, like, I guess you could say, a check and a balance. You have the good cop, the good cop who's aggressive, the other cop who maybe he's not as shiny and fresh, but yet he knows what he's doing, and he wants to do things his own way type thing. And then, of course, you have on the other side the mob, and then the out of control brother who wants to just just basically make the streets rain blood. And so it's like it has all the prime elements of like a really decent action movie, and for that matter, a good action series. Um, Here's a part where there's like the Russian mob at the mansion, and Henry was there, and he basically took care of business. We don't see a lot of this battle here, but later on you do see, like, there's like some guy survived it, and he basically retelling what happened, so you get a little bit more violence there. Overall, I really, really enjoyed this book. I cannot wait for the second issue, and I'm just really hoping that it keeps going, keeps my interest, and I really enjoyed it. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video up or down, let me know what you think. Oh, and in case you guys didn't know, David Lapham was the guy who wrote this, and his name's popped up a couple other times in other comics. So I'll have more reviews up until next time.